Minnesota, I don't think it's a fluke. I didn't buy into the Saints. I'm not sure if I bought into the Jets after they beat New England. I buy into this team. Everything works. Their defensive coordinator is excellent. Their special teams are consistent. Their offense is amazing. They have the tall Sean McVay as a coach. They're not only 4-0, they're 4-0 against the spread. They're beating people badly. Darnold leads the NFL in touchdown passes, passer rating, and the defense leads the NFL in sacks. It's not a star-studded defense. It's not Kansas City where you can see it completely disrupting people and it's the same 2 or 3 guys. It's Chris Jones every week wreaking havoc. It's not that, but it's good, and it's exceptionally coached, and I have Minnesota at 2.
I think the Minnesota Vikings defense is completely disrupting other offenses, so I'm not really sure about that. I mean, they made Purdy and CJ Stroud and, Jordan Love look very, very, very uncomfortable for, large stretches of those games, so I'm slightly confused by that. But, yeah, I mean, I think the Minnesota Vikings, I think you'd have to put them actually as the number 1 team right now, quite frankly. I just think what they're doing has been absolutely unreal. I struggle to find their weakness. I struggle to find what is holding them back, especially because they haven't lost yet. And so I need to see them lose, quite frankly. Sorry, Minnesota Vikings fans, I do. I need to see this team lose so you can be like, okay, like what happened here? Is this a liability long term? Was this a fluke? Like what's going on, right? Like you need to see them get beat, right? When we saw the Bills get beat, we're like, okay, now we can kind of see what's wrong. When we see the Ravens get beat, we can say, okay, this is what went wrong. They stopped, the Derrick Henry wasn't running, Lamar Jackson wasn't throwing down the field, right? You could just point to things where you could say, okay, is this a formula to kind of beat this team? What does this team need to do in order to be successful? Since the Vikings just keep being successful game after game after game, it's like hard to figure out, okay, well, how do you beat this team? How does this team beat themselves also, right? Like most teams find ways to beat themselves plenty of times as well, so it's trying to figure that one as well. So it's just at this point, like I genuinely struggle to find it. Like you can look at the Chiefs and say, well, they're not scoring points, right? Like Patrick Mahomes is not playing good. That offense is not looking good. If you could just put up points against the Kansas City Chiefs, you're going to beat them, right? So it's like easy to kind of even point that out versus another 4-0 team. But with the Vikings, I'm like, well, I don't know what you do. This offense is just ripping through teams, and this defense is just ripping through teams. And it's just like, what stops them, right? Like, what is it? Is it like, oh, if you take away the run, they can't do this. Oh, if you take away the pass game, they can't do this. Oh, well, defense, they're kind of have a liability from, their secondary. Like, you just don't see it. So it's hard not to be insanely excited about the Vikings. I mean, of course, I don't think that they're going to go undefeated, so I think they will lose eventually, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see why they lost, what happened, right? Was it a ton of turnovers? Like what was the thing that finally brought down this beast of a Viking, right? Like what is it? And I honestly have no idea. Like I said, I can't find a weakness of this team. I can't see how a team exploits them. So that's why I got them personally at number 1. As you guys know, I don't like to rank teams. I like to put them in groups. But if I'm forced to rank a team, it's like, how could you put them not at number 1? Everything the Minnesota Vikings are doing is just so great, such a high level. Firm believer in Sam Darnold, firm believer in Kevin O'Connell, firm believer in Brian Flores. And they're still not even 100% healthy. Like, that's also the crazy thing. They're still not 100% there. And it's just like, man, it's just wild. It really, really is. I thought the Vikings would be pretty good this year. I didn't think they were going to be this good this year like this. And I do not think this is fool's gold. There's so many takes. It seems like everyone keeps saying, I don't know, do we really believe in the Vikings? Like, that's why even Colin said, he's like, about buying in, because everyone, whenever they talk about the Vikings, they're like, this bubble will pop, this bubble will pop, this bubble will pop. And Sam Darnold's on Pumpkin Watch and all of these things. And every video that I have to make, I always have to address that, because that's what people kind of keep saying. And it's just like, I'm not seeing why this is anything close to being fool's gold, why this is anything but, how this is misleading, right? Like, they're playing great teams. They're playing other, divisional games. Like, they're playing other great quarterbacks, and they are winning, and they are winning convincingly, and they are winning in a way that it's clearly that they are playing better, that they're coached better, that their game preparation is better, that their in-game adjustments and their in-game management is better, right? Like, everything is just better. And so it's just like, if they continue with this trend, it's just hard to not see them just keep going. And so this is one of the most remarkable stories of the season. Is probably the most remarkable season in the NFL of this season so far. And it's I'm just not seeing an end in near personally. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Minnesota Vikings being top 2, according to Colin Cowherd? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.